Yandisa, thank you very much for making time to share your insights into the future of leadership. But before we go into the future, can you tell us a little bit about your own background?
Thank you very much for having me, Nick. My name is Yandisa Sokhanyile. I come from a very small town called Mount Aleph. It's probably one of the smallest towns in the country. We're right on the border of Transkei and Natal.
Right.
I grew up in a village there called Mwane. Just to paint a picture for those who have not been to Mount Aleph, it's between Konecta and on your way to Mthatha.
Right.
Yeah, it's a very small town. We don't even have a single robot there.
Not one robot.
There's no robot.
Wow. How many people live in the town?
Probably just a few, probably just over 100,000 or so. Actually,
Right.
I've never really checked the stats, but we're one of the smallest towns because there's a lot of rural villages there. I grew up in one of those. Yeah, that's how big the town is. One street, no robot.
And tell us, what was your dream career when you grew up?
That's very interesting because I actually thought about it. I wanted to be a jewelry designer, believe it or not. I wanted to be a jewelry designer. And then I changed. I wanted to be an architect. I've always loved drawing. I think that's why I probably deviated towards anything to do with design. So I'll draw houses and somebody says, oh, you could be an architect. Okay, when you are there, you don't know what that is, right? And yeah, but when I finished my matric, I had not done the technical drawing, so I couldn't get into tertiary to pursue architect. And then I was lost. I didn't know what else I could do. And I remember that one thing I was passionate about and I loved was events and music. So it's always been around the creative space. But where I come from, you can't really say, I want to study to do parties or I want to make parties for a living. My dad wouldn't hear it. Or it was just not something that you would, growing up in our era. But it's always one thing I loved dearly. I said, I really want to do that. So I found myself after matric. Okay, I started school, I was 4, I finished when I was 15. 15 finishing school, I had no clue what to do. I finished when it was 1999, it was the Y2K era.
Right.
So it was computers are gonna crash and all of that. So I went into computer engineering thinking, yeah, I'm gonna make a whole lot of money fixing these computers.
Right.
So I did computer engineering, but I spent most of my time at the graphic design class.
Right.
Because where I come from, I didn't know that there was a graphic design. We're not exposed to those kind of careers. It's not like right now. So we didn't know. We're taught engineering, lawyer, what else you could do, be a teacher. It was just basic, So we didn't know about the creative stuff that there is like a career in that field. So it's only when I got to Joburg that my eyes got open to a whole lot of things that I could do. So I'd already done computer engineering and because it had business courses as well. So I spent a lot of time with the graphic design guys, just assisting them in creative stuff. Like, okay, colors need to look like this, move that. And yeah. So after that, I did information systems. It was because also it was still that era. I'd say, okay, technology is gonna come because I only started using a computer when I was in matric.
Okay.
Yeah, so you are told this is what's going to take over the world, but you've never used it, you've never seen it before, you only started a year before. So it was just that difficulty of trying to understand this, So where was a turning point in my career at that time? Yeah. A company came to our school, to our college. They were looking for promoters.
Right.
So when they got there, they told us no extra money. So I thought, oh, okay, I'll do the extra money. So I already signed up for the promotions. So it was distributing flyers at the robots, doing brand activations. I signed up for that. God, I found my passion there. The ability to take a product and sell it to a person and package it in a way that a person gets interested in this and, that was just intriguing for me because we'll go and do activations. I would go deeper. It's not just a promoter. I got to know people. I got to look at the culture wherever we're going. I'll give feedback to our supervisors to say, in this place, this type of promotion or activation will not work because people, the culture is like this, or this is what people liked. I was fascinated by consumer behavior. I was fascinated by just engaging people and also how to package a brand and take it out to...
So you discovered your marketing genius.
This is where I come, I was like, God, I'm at home here. This is where I'm like, okay, this is what I should have been doing. And funny enough, that led us to be doing events. Part of activation, there's an event, there's an activity. Gradually, that was where I really felt like, oh yeah, I was really good at it. I was brilliant. All the clients liked working with me. I was happy. I'd wake up any day, any time, and go and do that. And I inquired one of our clients that we're servicing then, how do you actually start a business to do this kind of work? And he guided me through it all.
Right.
So he told me, oh, you need to register a company. At that time, I'm 19. You register a company, you come to us, you do a presentation, and all of those things. So he gave me all the insight that I really needed to start the business. So I went on. I registered the company when I was 19, and I started my first formal business. And I went back to the client and I pitched, and I got my first contract.
At 19?
At 19, the South African breweries. So I got in, I worked, and lucky enough, I had a brother who had a printing company and was working at home.
Yeah.
So starting up, I actually used our home office as a base.
Right.
And already, because I was working in that environment, I was already exposed to business. We're dealing with advertising agencies. And some of the clients from the ad agencies actually became my clients.
Right.
So that's how I actually managed to grow the business. Though it was tough, and because I was doing something that I really loved, I was really passionate about it. So I managed to grow the business. We got into bigger events. I used to do so many events at the Coca-Cola Dome then.
Yeah.
I managed a number of artists. We did major events, and one of the highlights was during Mandela's 90th birthday in the Eastern Cape.
Really?
Yeah.
So you did both the marketing and the eventing?
Yeah, the business grew. So I employed more people, we did marketing, brand activations, artist management, because it all works in one. So when you're doing a product, you have to do an event, because an activation is an actual event. And from there, you also need artists that will bring the crowds, So that is what we're doing.
So tell us about the 90th birthday of Madiba.
Yeah, I got a call from a municipality in Mthatha that actually wanted artists to come and perform, because Madiba's 90th birthday was a big thing. So they were having a whole festival that was going to happen there, because Madiba is from Mthatha.
Of course.
So I worked with them, to bring that to life. I was still very young at that time, and I remember the client. It's always good when people talk to you on the phone. I think I sounded a little bit mature, but when they see me, like, how old are you? It was a different story. You can see them starting to panic. I had my team. We executed the event that everyone was so happy, the mayor was so happy, everybody was.
You got to meet Madiba?
No, I didn't actually. I didn't get to meet, because we're doing the festival part, the outside part, yeah. It's funny that when I've been in eventing, it is always, I've never really went to meet on even the artists, because we did a lot of international artists. You're so focused on getting everything right at the event to just make sure. Because when you see the time when you're saying the event is over, and by that time you're like, oh wow, the joy that you feel after that. But the preparation that goes through, you forget about everything else, There's no moment to say, let me spare this moment to even think about this. You just want to make sure that everything goes well.
So, and then how did you get from eventing into what you're doing now, Konecta?
Yeah, so my plan has always been that I believe that I work on 10-year frames. I've always structured my life like that. Say in my 20s, I want to be in entertainment, because that's my passion. In everything that I do, I put my heart and soul into it. Yeah. So that 10-year, when I was reaching my 30s, I already prepped that I need something that I'll get in, and I've already identified that we'll go into connectivity, looking at now focusing what's going to be happening in the next 10 years. I knew that Wi-Fi was going to be the key, and I started research while I was still busy with the entertainment business. I started doing my research and putting structures in place so that I can launch the second business, which is Konecta.
Right.
So the idea was that entertainment was, it's fun and good. I knew that I was going to reach my ceiling at some point, and I wanted something that's more challenging, that's more impactful, and this is how I got into Konecta. But the good thing is that I was able to fund Konecta from the revenues and the savings that I had actually made from the other business. So I was able to start Konecta. So with Konecta, it's been a journey, and I realized that we have connectivity issue. We still have a huge divide when it comes to connectivity, and the frustration was that when we started, it was probably by then internet, social media had not taken off as it is now.
Right.
So it was a slow start to it. It was just gradually doing research, because you knew that getting into this kind of business, you also need a lot of funds, you need a lot of financial backing, and also you need a lot of clientele to go into it. However, what was really interesting was that as time went by, you realize that this is peaking now. Everybody's talking Wi-Fi is the new oxygen. You can't do now, there's data. What I didn't anticipate was how that was going to change. How it was going to be so big now that there's going to be that the changes that have come about.
Right.
So for us, it was like people need to get connected then.
Yeah.
So if people have got internet, then that's a start of something big, But how in the past 2 years, so much has now, this 4IR, we are fully in as a country, and because I think we haven't started as early, we're just starting now.
Right.
So you realize that there's this whole digital transformation that is happening, and I spend a lot of time consulting with clients.
Yeah.
And you still find that you are actually taking through a journey that some they haven't really planned for. There's still the resistance of, so you're taking more time pitching to the same client because you're convincing them that this is the way. They're still not sure would this work,
So the solutions you wear and you are selling revolve around Wi-Fi or around connectivity?
Yeah, our base of the business is the connectivity. So we provide Wi-Fi, and we provide also free Wi-Fi. So we get advertisers to actually advertise on the Wi-Fi, and we do CRMs, we do polls, any other marketing stuff that a marketer will need, because also it is bringing the very same clients I used to work with on the brand activations and bringing them on the digital side now. So it's no longer about the activations only, there's a digital world, but we do it with Wi-Fi. So one thing we ask, everybody needs Wi-Fi. So people are on their phones every day. So the best way to advertise is through their phones. And how we do that? By actually giving them free Wi-Fi.
Now, Yandisa, you won a number of awards, most notably the top 50, I believe, most inspiring women in South Africa.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your awards?
It's not a lot actually. So it's a inspiring 50 women in STEM fields. It's an award by the Embassy of Netherlands. So they select 50 women in each country, where they say, we recognize the work that you're doing in the STEM fields, we celebrate you, and it's also a sisterhood that we built, because we have a group where we share opportunities, we share ideas, and so if you need anything, you always have your go-to people.
Right.
I would say everybody needs a circle of people that you can always go to. So within our group, it's like a support structure that you form with other women who has the same goals, the same visions around.
Right.
So it's really one of those. I was also a finalist on the Standard Bank Top Women Awards. That was also really quite good. But the thing about the awards is you're never really looking at the recognition, but when it comes, and you realize what it comes with, it's really great.
Yeah.
Especially when there's platform beyond just the awards, where you don't just win and go, and you can still build on a sisterhood where you can learn, have people that can cheer you up, you have your own cheerleaders there, and when you're struggling with something, you're able to ask to say, I need help with this, I am looking for this resource, anyone who's got, and also it creates a platform for collaboration as well.
Right, now you also share, well, first of all, talking about inspiration, can you tell us who inspired you, looking back over your career?
I have a number of people that really inspired me, and I continue to look at people. And when you are in leadership, I sincerely believe that it is beyond just being a leader in the business. That role just goes to every aspect, whether you are at home, you are within family, in the community, society. Once you become a leader, you automatically just become a leader in everything. And I always take inspiration from people, whether it's social, just community members. It's people that are doing amazing things. I'll tell you a few people who've really had an impact in my life. One of them is Julia Molloy. She is late. She lived with cerebral palsy, and I worked with her as part of the CSI when I was running the entertainment business. She was running a magazine for people with disabilities. I did a lot of work in that space. I tell people that changed my outlook on life. It changed how I engage with people. You see how the world can be so judgmental, when you judge a book by its cover. And with Julia, because, when you have a cerebral palsy, you've got a speech problem also. So how people would just shut out without really getting to know the person. So that experience also molded me, to say I'm open to everybody. I listen, I talk to everyone. And also one of the other people that I've always looked up to that really inspired me is a guy by the name of Byron Island. He's a TV producer, but he's in the US, because I've been in the creative space.
Right.
So I've loved his business model, which I adopted some of it, how he's done his business. He's probably one of the biggest producers in Hollywood, one of the richest men, but he's so quiet, so humble, and the amount of work that he does for the community. And when he goes in, he doesn't fight for himself. He fights to open for the whole industry.
Have you met him? Are you
I
in
haven't
touch
met
with
him. No, that's one person I would love to meet. I haven't been in touch. I just follow.
Right.
Yeah, and the other person is the CEO of GT Bank in Nigeria. Oh, I got to meet him. He had a vision before we even started digital transformation. I remember one of his speeches when he said, if your bank is just bricks and mortar, in the next few years you'll be out of business. And one of his speeches is like, as GT Bank, we want to build a company where even if you remove a bank from GT, but you still know who we are. So for me, he's very clear about what they're building and how he's grown that business from start. The story of how they started the bank to where it is now, and how they've managed to keep the brand. I've followed him. One of the people that I've always been following and being inspired. The other person is my cousin, Amanda Dambuza. She's the CEO of Yandisa Project Management Services. We literally grew up together. She's like my big sister. We slept on the same bed growing up. To see her success and what she's managed to achieve with her life, and it's always like, this is my sister, this is my cousin, So looking up, she's always been the big sister. She's always helped me here and there, and whenever I need business advice, she's always been the person that says, hey, here's a door, or here's an opportunity. There's a lot of other people. I think also, I look at my mom also, who is not in business, but the passion that she has for community. She's a nurse. She has helped the community start the stockfields. There's the societies for building, for burial, for all of these things, and how she dedicates her time. Outside of what she does, she's always helping something to do in the community. And yeah, my father, I think I'm everything that my father taught me. So he's late. He actually passed away when I was 19. But what he has instilled in us is what I am living my life with. The principles that he actually installed in us is what has made me. You know, he started out as a taxi driver when he was expelled from school.
Yeah.
He used that time to collect money and take himself to college where he got his teacher's degree, teacher's diploma. So he was a school principal, very respected man. He had his own businesses. That's where I got my business full from, because he had shops. So I was literally raised in a shop. He taught us business. And there's one thing I need to share that he had taught us.
Yeah.
He used to say, be good at one thing.
Right.
Excel at one thing. Be known for one thing. Know a bit about everything. Surround yourself with experts in everything. And you'll never go hungry. That's that's a principle that I've really used. I research a lot, I read a lot about different industries. I'm not confined to where I am, you know. I'm always learning about the world, you know, what is happening, what's going to change, you know, what are the future plans. And also, I know people that are experts. When you say I want something, I know I've got a software engineer who is an expert in that, you know.
Right.
So I surround myself with people that I can learn from. And also when I need assistance, I know I've got experts in different fields.
Now, last week you shared a beautiful story on LinkedIn, where I believe you traveled to the Eastern Cape.
Yes.
And you turned sort of a misfortune into an opportunity.
Yeah. It's amazing that this other friend of mine, colleague of mine, he arranged a meeting. It was an urgent meeting. You know, my gut says, you know, the meeting just comes up instantly and you have to go. And he says, we need to go and attend this meeting, it's urgent. And I'm like, I'm in Joburg. He's like, yes, let's go in there. The meeting will be tomorrow morning. And I just decided, let me check the flights. I don't want to wake up in the morning. Let me take the late flight, you know, and I'll sleep there, wait so that I'm refreshed in the morning. I go, and as soon as I arrive there, I receive a message. I switch on my phone. It says, oh, I'm so sorry, the meeting has been cancelled due to this and that and that. I'm like, God, I'm here, you know. And I thought, no, let me not just return back, you know. I decided to stay. I'm like, oh, there's a summit I can attend, and at least let me just look on the bright side. Let me just go and attend the summit. So it was an e-learning summit at one of the hotels. So I went there, sat in, attended. I heard the teachers, the frustration. And this is Eastern Cape. I come from Eastern Cape, so most of the things are related to. They were talking about Fourth Industrial Revolution, this Fourth Industrial Revolution that is still coming. And I realized when they say it's still coming, then there's one big problem there. They didn't have connectivity. Some schools have, but they don't know how to use their computers or their laptops that they have, the tablets, or the government provides tablets, but they never got training. You know, I sense the frustration. I sense that people know some of them have got resources, but they don't know what to do. It's, you give somebody internet and you give them a tablet or a computer, but you don't tell them how to connect that computer to the internet, you know, basic things like that. Right. So they were so frustrated, and they said, we want to learn. We want to do our job. We want to change, you know. If there's a new courses that we need to take, we want to do that, but we don't have the resources, we don't have the know-how, you know, we're just being given resources that we don't even know how to use. I realized, God, as people are talking, what I really picked up was the 4IR. That, yeah, we're here, there's this Fourth Industrial Revolution, we hear about this Fourth Industrial Revolution, but we don't know what is it exactly. Then I thought, what can I do with my capacity and that is within my reach that I can do. And because I was an entertainment person, I got access to radio.
Right.
I called the producer, like, yes, let's meet, and he agreed. And that's it. Here's a proposal. This is what I would like to do. And he said, definitely, this is something that we also need as a station, because we need, the station is Umhlobo. It's the second biggest station in the country.
Really?
Yeah, it is, yeah. The first,
After Nkosi?
After Nkosi. It's the second biggest radio station, 5 million listeners. And it's an afternoon drive show. It is the biggest show within the station.
Right.
Started there. I curate the content, I do the research, and then I present the feature.
Every week?
It's every Monday.
Okay.
So I do it every Monday, and then after the show, we take it to Facebook, because most of the people are on Facebook, so there's a lot of traction on Facebook. So I put it on Facebook, and I'll put up a topic of the day, so they can start asking questions and comments before I even go on the show. By the time I go in, already have an idea of what questions to be answering. And after the show, people can start sending their questions and their comments immediately, then I respond to them. So I share opportunities, like if there's any courses, even courses to do. So whatever topic, if I'm talking about artificial intelligence, I also share to say, these are the courses that you would do to work. These are the career opportunities. If it's drones, if it's cybersecurity, you can be an ethical hacker, you can be this, these are the courses, these are the online courses. The funny thing is they all say, oh, but we don't have internet, I was like, no, I understand you don't have, but you can do night bundle from your telecom provider, and then you study even in the evening, or you download the work and then you can study. To see so many of them taking up this course has been like the highlight of this whole entire process. When somebody comes back and tells the others to say, guys, I'm on week 4 of my course, I'm enjoying it. Someone will say, yes, what I've learned, I'm already applying in my work. I give them the Google courses, like your digital marketing. And I tell them, you don't just have to be social media for nothing. Come and learn. So before I even do the show, they start posting, we are ready, we are waiting, It has changed so much from the first episode where people didn't understand and were not even interested in this 4th industrial revolution because they thought it didn't apply to them. Now it has changed to a point where they're already so engaged into it that they are learning. So when I go through the posts and I realize how this is changing people's lives and how much they are learning, and even when I went home over the holidays, I got there, everyone was like, no, we are listening to the show. And now we know so much. And some people were engaging me and just asking questions. So that was one of the things I think has been the most fulfilling journey of 2019.
So Yandisa, what is driving you today?
Today, I'm driven by impact. I think I just don't want to run a business. So if you look at part of our business with Konecta, we provide free Wi-Fi. I knock at corporates on a daily basis to say, sponsor the Wi-Fi. Sponsor the Wi-Fi. It is my 8-year-old who's sitting there, who is my inspiration. I look at her and I want her to have a role model in-house. I don't want her to even struggle. So because I know kids imitate what you do. You can't tell them to do stuff. They watch you. So I want her to be the person that she looks up to and say, my mom did this and so I can. And also my social impact. I want to touch as many people as possible. I want to help as much as possible. I think starting out in my career, I didn't have the knowledge, and I always say I don't want anybody to pay the school fees that I've paid. Even starting a business, I assist a lot of people. I do a lot of workshops, whether it's in the creative space, it's in the 4th Industrial Revolution, in entrepreneurship. That's a space that I want. I just want to have an impact in the society and use my knowledge, use my resources and what I have just to make a change. Because I know where I come from. So I know opportunities are not that much, and I was fortunate enough to be able to find myself in this position.
So Yandisa, let's talk about leadership.
Yes.
What does the future of leadership mean to you?
For me, leadership looks beyond just being a leader in the business and being a leader of the people that you lead. It is having empathy. It is understanding people. I think one thing I've seen that slips away, we get so attached to positions, we get so attached to the seats and the tables, we get so attached to leading in towards a financial drive or remuneration, that we actually forget that we are leading people. We are leading people with sentiments. We are leading people who have issues and problems. I would love to see a more ethical leader in a way that is not driven by all of the material things or anything, that is driven by purpose to change. I would like to see leadership. We need leadership, just even in the continent, as a whole, in our country. And most of the problems that we have are leadership problems. These are fixed by people who gets into position with one vision and one purpose to serve the people that they are leading, not the other way around. If we can get that right, to say when you are a leader, it's a privilege, it's an opportunity, it's a purpose that you are being put there, you are being selected for people to look up to you. If you can understand the impact of that and use it to the best of, using to the best of moral etiquette even, that is what we're looking for, that is what we need, not people who are so consumed by the titles. So just lead without a title. And also something that I teach people, even with the people that I work with, I tell them, you don't have to be a manager of wherever you are. You are a leader in that position, because once people start seeing themselves as leaders, you start having, a vision, you start implementing things, you start thinking beyond just yourself. So if we can have leaders that can forget about themselves, forget about their positions and their titles, and just know that they are there to serve, whether it's your staff, whether it's the country or the people that put you in that. People put you there because they trust you.
So Yandisa, what have you learned from your own journey that you consider most important in terms of qualities, leadership quality, for building future leaders? What do they need?
For me, what has been the most, I think, important quality that you need to have? Firstly, you need to be able to lead yourself, because people look at you. You need to be able to lead yourself and inspire confidence in the people that you are leading. Because once they see, they draw the energy from you, the kind of leader that you are, you want to produce. It's the same kind of leaders that you're going to produce, because people are emulating everything that you do as a leader. And you need to be you're actually the role model. You need to model what you would like to see them become. Once we can understand that, the impact of our own actions, of our own decisions, and our own leadership style, that it's going to impact on the people that are looking up to us. And the most important thing is empathy. You don't want to be a leader that is feared. You want to be a leader that understands. Once you can be in touch also with the people, that is very important. That is very important, where you can be able to understand and be able to, tap beyond just being a leader in a position. You need to be a leader that you can be able to identify talent, be able to nurture that and encourage that. I've seen people being broken down by leaders. I have seen people who have never been able to thrive in certain situation because of a boss, of a leader, or a manager that didn't allow them. But if once you're in a position, you're not just there for looking at the finances or building the business. You are there to build the people that are working within. And I always say to people, it's good when you're sitting and getting accolades in these positions for the work that you do, for me, it's never about me. It is about opening the door for the others so that the following year, somebody from your company can move up and actually get those kinds, you know.
Right.
And for me to see the people that says, I looked up to you and here I am now, that is more impactful than anything. If we can build each other, have leaders that know how to build confidence, instill confidence in people, and actually get people, gear them up to do more, then that's great.
And tell us, when you speak to aspiring leaders, and maybe your own daughter, because she's now starting with YouTube, I believe.
Yeah, no, she's starting her own YouTube channel.
Now, what is it you tell them about social media? How should they navigate social media to build their own brand, their leadership brand?
Yes, social media is very impactful. As much as there has been a notion that, you get into social media, and some people have not really seen the value of it. You create your own brand. You create your own, you set your own tone. And just be the person that you want the world to know. You don't want, you need to be also consistent with your messaging when it comes to social media. Select also the platforms that you feel work best for your brand. And for me, I would say it's LinkedIn worked for my brand, personal brand. For my channel, Facebook works best,
Right.
So you need to able to understand the different social media platforms and where your target audience is. Also have a vision. What are you trying? You have a goal. What are you trying to achieve when you get into that platform? This helps you on how you structure your messaging. Be aware of who you're talking to, because the language also will be different. So who's listening? Who am I talking to? And what do they relate to? So it goes back to understanding people.
Right.
Once you can understand people, you've cut your work in half. Whether it's your audience, it's your clients, it's everything. People just need to understand. So when you go to LinkedIn, maybe say, this is the audience that I'm talking to, this is the kind of people that I'm talking to, this is my drive here, and this is my vision. So create your brand in a way that this is what you want people to know about you, and this is what you're selling yourself to the world, So also people need to understand the importance of having social media, because now it breaks down the barriers. It actually cuts down it. We met on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, that's right.
All right. I don't have to go physically go find you. It just breaks the barriers. It makes your work so much easier, and you learn so much from articles that are being shared. You take from there. Every day I'm saving something, then I know I'm gonna go back and just read it because it's of interest to me. So
Right.
you sort of like in a community of people who are driving, follow the people that have your same vision, or people in your same path. But it's very important for each and every person to know exactly what they are trying to achieve when they get to the social media platform, and also just be the best that you can when you are there. Just know the world is watching. You're not just sitting at home with your friends. You've got the world watching, or the world reading what you're saying. People having conversations around what you are saying. So you need to be very intentional when you get there. It's not just a post. Think about what you are posting, how you're curating your message, how you're driving the message. So it is a bit of work, I must say, though. Because you don't just go in and say, hey, I am posting. Because you also need to have how much of it am I using? Because you also don't want to bombard people too much, and you don't want to be all over the place.
Sure.
So we need the social media strategy. Luckily, there are people also that do the social media strategies that can help you if you haven't
Sure.
really have a plan. Some people, I know it can be very daunting. Like, I just don't want to be talking about myself. But sometimes just get somebody who can guide you. If you're not that type of person, get somebody who can guide you and say, for your career, this is what you can do. But do not say, I don't want to be on social media, because you learn so much. You connect with so many people in there.
Right. Now, Yandisa, many people believe, many future leaders believe that the road to success is a straight line. And many of us obviously are looking for a shortcut. What would you tell, what is your advice for future leaders? What are the obstacles, the challenges they should expect in their career?
There's never anything like a straight road. Even the straight roads that you drive on, they've got potholes and they curve.
Right.
So don't expect that in your leadership. And also, when you are a leader, your role has got more challenges because it's not about you. There are people whose success and whose stars are attached to your success. So you're not just carrying yourself, you're carrying a lot of people. So your journey will probably be even more harder than anybody else's. So you need to be grounded, be anchored somewhere. Whether it's prayer, I always say you need to be anchored. That's going to give you strength. You need to have a circle. I always tell people, have a circle of 10. Have a circle of 10. Those are your go-to people as a leader, because you will need somebody that you can just vent to. They don't have to judge you, they understand, so that you don't go through depression. You need people that will be your accountability partners. You need friends that you can just go out with. You need probably, whether it's a spiritual person or anyone that will guide you in that. But just so that you are able to be balanced. You also need friends that you can drink with and talk a whole lot of nonsense with. You're human. So just make sure you build that circle. It is so important. I have had engagements of leaders where probably it's business owners. The economy is not good. So when the business goes down, people tend to, it's either depression, they go into depression, some they are self-suicidal. So it's a lot of things. Hence I emphasize on the circle of 10. Have people that you can talk to, that you trust, that you can be able to open up, because when you are sitting there and have everybody relying on you, one, the pressure of not letting people down is going to weigh you. And also leaders, especially entrepreneurs, or even just anybody in the leadership position, know how to separate yourself as a person and your business. I've turned to seeing people who tend to attach themselves too much into the business or too much into their position, to an extent that when the business goes down, for them it feels like it's the end of it. Right. But when you understand and manage to separate yourself as an individual and say, if my business doesn't go well, if this is what is happening currently, but that doesn't define me, then you are able to bounce back. You can go into another career, you can go into another business. Right. But when you have so entrenched yourself so much that everything is together, you see people likely going to depression, becoming suicidal because they feel like they are failures. Right. Need to understand whether you're in any position to lead people, the road is not easy, it is not straight, it is bumpy. And should you feel that it is not working out, it's okay to step down. It's okay to sell that business. It's okay to close it, because you are more important than your leadership position or the place that you are in. But learn to separate and learn that you are in a position because of who you are. Nurture yourself, feed yourself, so that you become a stronger person individually outside of the leadership position.
Now, Yandisa, if you were to design a curriculum for future leaders, what are the new skills you would want to factor in?
Critical thinking. That have to be in. Emotional intelligence. Those are the key things that I would really put in. Empathy. We need to just, that will go under emotional intelligence. What I've seen, it goes back to you being as a person. People need to learn to handle their emotions. I've seen boardrooms, people boiling. And when you unpack it, guys, is it really necessary? It's emotions. Once you can master that, and also I think NLP needs to be like a standard for leaders, because the mindset is another issue. Once you can work out your mindset and your emotional side, you're almost balanced. Once you can work out those two and you're able to be strong there, then as a leader, that's something that can actually ground you. Because these are not taught in schools, maybe. In most of the courses, you taught about accounting, branding, all of those other things. but the softer side of leadership is very important. I think we need to have more into the curriculum. And for me, NLP did wonders. It's one thing I recommend to everybody, or anything that works with your subconscious mind, because a lot of the thoughts and a lot of the narratives that we have are sitting in our subconscious. So if we can work that, that will be the first step. And if you can manage your emotions, if you can work on your emotions, that's a great attribute that you can also have. And also learn people. And that's one thing, learn to work with people.
Okay.
Yeah, learn to work with people. That's one of the things. I always say, when you have somebody you work with, your staff, when you're able to just walk in without them saying anything and you say, tell me what is wrong. Because you've already picked that up, that something is wrong. Once you learn to be that kind of a person that is more also interested in the people that you are leading, that's even better.
Now, Yandisa, as a mentor to future leaders, can you maybe share a success story or two where you mentored a youngster and that person took your advice to heart?
Wow, God. I've had so many. I think that's one thing I've done all my life. I know of a few. There was a lady on Facebook who just shared my picture and said, everything I know in the entertainment industry is because of this lady. I was like, wow. I've had people coming to me saying, I want to start a business, especially in the entertainment business. It's very tough, So when I got in, I actually make sure that I train a number of people, especially women, because then it was very male dominated. It was very tough, and I managed to crack in, and I brought in women into the space. So now I outsource a lot of work. So I've referred clients to the people that I've mentored, because they say, no, I want to start my own business. Come and learn. When you're ready to start your own, tell me, I'll guide you on how to start the business. They've started the business, and they still form part of my circle,
Okay.
even now. They know I'm a phone call away. There's this client, and we've built that circle. So I've had so many of those where you see people, and even now on my radio show, there's a lady that has started digital marketing, and it's like, I am already implementing these skills and I'm helping other businesses as well. So these are things that you do sometimes that you're not even aware of. And what I've really realized is that a lot of people are watching, but that you don't even know of. And so it's been a journey. I think that's one thing I've done all my life, and also even the time I was working with disability, to see how the people, because when you're leaving and you are able-bodied and you're working with people with disability, I managed to get all of them out to a point that they became so confident and they were able to, even the lady I really worked with, it's one of the things to say, thank you for what you have done, because you've opened the doors for me, you've opened the channels for me. So there has been a number of those instances, and I continue to do that every day, and I hope that I continue to impact a lot of people.
So are there any role models of leadership that you would advise future leaders should learn from?
Yeah. And also one other key thing for future leaders, find yourself. Key thing, I say, instead of putting people in pedestals, take a bit from somebody, mix your own person, have your own ideal role model of what you think, of what you want to be. Research on a number of people and take a bit from there. And also, find who you are first. Build your own leadership skills as well. Build yourself and lead yourself so that you can be able to lead other people. So many leaders that we have that people can look up to. And I always say, they don't necessarily have to be in your field of work. Take a bit from everybody who's doing something great, who's leading great in another field, and bring them in. I'll still say, please look up the CEO of GT Bank. One of those people that I think really did a lot of work. Look at, we've got Nelson Mandela, you know,
Sure.
that is a role model for everyone. Take some principles from there, you know. That is more, I think that's like emotional intelligence, you know. So those are people that have implemented, you know, fundamentally and looked at people first approach, you know.
Right.
So those are different role models that people can look at. People like Teto Nyati, I think there's a lot of number of people that have done so much. Yeah, there's a number of people, but I think for everybody, we're all different. We're all, but just look at different people in different fields, and take something from each.
Now, Yandisa, how can our listeners connect with you, and where should they follow you?
They must connect with me on LinkedIn. I think that's where I'm most active.
Right.
LinkedIn is Yandisa Sokhanyile. They'll just follow me there. And yeah, I think that will be the best platform because everything else I share through LinkedIn. For those who want to learn more about the 4IR feature, they can go to Facebook. It's 4IR Simplified.
Right.
4 as in the number and IR Simplified. That's on Facebook. But everything else, send me a LinkedIn connection. I accept, I engage, and I respond. Yeah, you can attest to that.
And your radio show is every Monday?
Yeah,
what time?
The show is every Monday at 4:20, 20 minutes past 4 on Umhlabowene FM. It's on the afternoon drive. So you can tune in earlier sometimes, but it's 4:20 we start in. That's every Monday, at 4:20 Umhlabowene FM.
Do you expect your listeners to do some homework?
Yeah, I always give them.
Okay.
Yeah, I give them homework. Like I ask them even questions. What do you think we can do?
Right.
What do you think we can do with drones? They come up with the most fabulous answers and suggestions. And I always say, God, rural communities, the talent is there.
Absolutely.
You know? And I'll say, probably the greatest inventions will come from there. I firmly believe because
Thank you.
they are inventing for survival. They're solving their own challenges. They're solving their own problems. And you can't come to a rural community with research that is done somewhere. You need to talk from the people. You need to get it from the people. And these are the guys that know their own problems. So all we need is just to assist, give them like resources, avail resources, you know, and give them opportunities.
Now, last but not least, Yandisa, is there one piece of advice that you would really like to convey to future leaders that they should implement in their own lives?
Yes, the one advice I would really give to future leaders, it's that lead yourself, you know, get to know you as a person, build yourself, build your circle. Once you're a strong person, you become even a better leader. You know, you won't have issues of insecurity and all of these things. Be the best version of yourself, and then you will lead.
Right. Well, Yandisa, thank you so much for sharing your insights and your wisdom.
Thank you very much for having me.
And thank you for inspiring us and inspiring so many other people in communities where it matters the most.
Yes, thank you so much.